What's up guys, welcome to the video. In today's vlog I'm going to be running you through the details of my peak week, which will be starting as of Sunday. So firstly, what is a peak week? Basically it's the week leading into a bodybuilding or physique competition where you can manipulate things such as water, sodium, carbohydrates and training to ultimately look the best you possibly can on the day of the show. So for me, today's Friday, my show is next Sunday. But the other thing to keep in mind is that a peak week can either make or break your physique, and in reality it's only going to benefit you by, let's say, a maximum of 3, 4, 5%. So if you don't look good, or if you're not ready 1 to 3 weeks before your show, then a peak week is not going to do anything magical that is just going to take you from being too fat, so fat's probably a bad word, but too high in body fat to then looking unreal on stage. You need to be ready before you start your peak week, which in my opinion I am. I think I'm the leanest I've ever been, which means that the manipulations we're going to make over the next 7 to 9 days are ultimately just going to make sure that I look my absolute best on show day. And for me that means that I'm going to be looking lean. Obviously I'm not going to be holding water between the skin and the muscle. And I'm going to be looking full, meaning that I'm going to be able to get a good pump before I go on stage and everything looks like it's pumped on stage. I don't look really flat and stringy and kind of skinny, I guess. So the manipulations for me are going to be with my training, my nutrition, pretty much no change with water, but I'll run you through what I'll be doing anyway. Supplementation will basically stay the same, and that's it. That's really it. Sodium will stay pretty much the same as well. I've been keeping my sodium pretty much constant throughout the whole prep this time around, so things don't really need to change at the moment. So with nutrition, today is Friday as I mentioned, so today Friday and Saturday it will be exactly the same. My normal macros depending on what training day it is or whether it's a rest day. Training wise, today I trained delts, triceps and abs. Tomorrow I'll train chest, back and biceps. And then that's the end of this training phase, and then we go into a peak week phase. Sunday is actually a rest day. So I'll run through training first. Okay, so Sunday, day off, as I mentioned. I'll quickly check my phone for what I've got next week. But basically the whole purpose of training in peak week is, obviously you're not going to lose muscle in 1 week if you are at least maintaining your overall volume that you've been doing, or just lifting some kind of weights throughout peak week. Okay, so the aim is to not be sore, because when you're on stage posing you can't be sore, okay, because you need to be holding poses for a fairly long period of time, and if you're shaking and you're really sore and you can't pose properly, that's not great. 2 is obviously not to get injured. Okay, so this last week you've got to be really careful. You don't want to get injured. That's the last thing you want the week before your show. And 3, the purpose of this style of training, which I'm going to be doing in the next week, is to deplete the glycogen stores. Okay, so deplete the muscle glycogen stores, so then when we introduce carbs before the show, we fill up nice. The carbohydrates go to the muscles that we really want them to go to. We drive it in there with water and eating carbohydrates, so then on the day we look as good as possible. So it's going to be relatively high rep, still training everything like I usually would in terms of hitting everything twice this week. But I'll run through exactly what I'm going to be doing this week. So Monday will be my first training day. On Monday, it's going to be my last legs day. Okay, so basically this is still going to be heavy, but there's going to be a lot of volume, and this is going to be my last main leg session, so I'm going to be getting everything I can out of the session like I have been throughout the whole prep, but I'm really going to be pushing hard in this session. So that's Monday. Tuesday is going to be a massive chest, shoulders and tricep session. So when I get on stage, I really want to make sure that my chest is looking full. I'm looking really pumped through the shoulders and chest and kind of bicep and just basically the whole upper body area when I go on stage. Men's physique, I need to be looking kind of as lean and as full as possible. Obviously abs are going to be out. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on a lot this week, is really depleting the chest, so when I start introducing carbs, fill up nice, look nice and tight and full throughout the chest and throughout the upper body. So that'll be Tuesday. On Wednesday, I'm going to be doing basically my last back day, so I'll be doing back, biceps and abs. So those 3 days are relatively similar to what I've been doing, okay, so there's no real changes there. training. I'm obviously still trying to overload, but I'm probably just not going to be training to failure. As I said, I don't want to pull up too sore. I don't want to get injured. Now, Thursday, I will be doing basically a full body type circuit session. Okay, so higher reps, relatively lowish weight, and just making sure again that I'm depleting the muscles. I'm not going to absolute failure to the point where I'm going to be sore. If it's something like push-ups or pull-ups or whatever, I know that I'm not going to get that sore even if I do go to failure. So things like that are fine. On Friday, again, it's basically going to be, well, on Friday I'm actually going to be doing back, arms and abs. Nice and high reps. So for example, first exercise, wide grip lat pull down, 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps. So everything is up above that 10 rep range really. So 12 to 15 reps, really squeezing and contracting the muscle on every single rep to get the most out of it and deplete those glycogen stores, as I mentioned. Saturday, the day before the show, not Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. Saturday, the day before the show, is just going to be a really easy day, full body circuit. Obviously not training to failure, just trying to fill the muscles up with some blood, get a good contraction. I'll be doing plenty of posing practice on that day as well, just to make sure that my poses, I'm nailing my poses, because you can have the best physique on stage, but if you can't show it, then you're not going to do well. Alright, so I'll make sure I get footage of that throughout the week as well. I'm already doing posing every day, but I'll really knuckle down this week and make sure that everything just feels extremely comfortable, so when I go on stage, you can tell it looks comfortable, you can tell I'm confident with my poses. And then that'll be my last training day on Saturday. It'll just be about enjoying it. I'm going to get a lot of footage this week, so hopefully by then I will have introduced carbs, obviously, so I should be looking like pretty fucking awesome, I'm hoping. So nice and full, lean, getting a really good pump, and then I'll actually get my tan on Saturday night. I'll go and get my tan with midnight spray tanning, which, I'm going to be vlogging this whole week. So all these smaller details or more detailed stuff about the training and nutrition, I will talk you through everything throughout these next 7 to 9 days. Now with water, I'm actually going to be increasing my water slightly. Okay, so I'm already drinking a lot of water at the moment, anywhere between kind of 4 and 6 litres. I'm going to be trying to purposely drink more water so I'm flushing out my system more often, okay? And that's the only change. On comp day, I'll be drinking normal water all the way up until the day before the comp, and then on the day of the comp I'll just be sipping on water when I'm thirsty, and that's just for a couple of reasons. One, obviously I don't want to be looking bloated and holding water between the muscle and the skin, as I mentioned before, and two, I just don't want to have to pee when I'm on stage. And that's really the only things there. There's, you would have heard, I'm sure a lot of you that are watching would have heard about how you should be depleting water before the show to make sure that you look really dry and you're not holding any water, but and it's really not the smartest thing to do, because your muscles are made up of 70% water. Okay, your body's made up of at least 70% water. So if you're dehydrated, it's extremely hard to get a pump, and you're going to look pretty shit, and you're just going to look really flat. And all around, you're just not going to feel great either, okay? You know how important hydration is, so why would you cut it out the week of the show? So we'll be keeping the water nice and high. I have the bladder of a pregnant woman anyway, so I'm going to be going to the bathroom very regularly, but that's okay. Now with nutrition, this is probably the more interesting part for those that are watching, and a lot of you probably want to know what I'm going to be doing with my nutrition. As I mentioned, I'm going to be showing you in great detail what I'm going to be doing every single day in terms of the macros, exactly what I'm eating, when I'm eating it, why I'm eating it, all the way up until comp day and all the way up until I get on stage, because that is pretty interesting. Even now, I'm extremely interested in different forms of peaking methods and different forms of weeks leading into the show. In the past, I've tried multiple things, a number of different methods of peaking, and my last competitions I did it extremely simple. I just kept throughout prep I was having 6 lower days, so lower calorie, lower carbohydrate days with 1 refeed day. Now coming into competition, all I did was strategically place my refeed day 2 days before my comp, and that had me looking really good, and I was really happy with that. So that's all I did. I didn't need to change too much at all, because throughout the whole of prep I was monitoring what I looked like after that high carb day. I always found 2 days later I looked my best. So that's where I placed it, and that's all. It's as simple as that. So you don't need to be doing anything crazy. As I said, if you stuff up peak week, you can look really shit on the day. If you nail it, you might look a few % better. So it's just about making sure you're conservative and just putting the final touches on your physique. Okay, so finally with nutrition, as of Sunday, I'll be starting a depletion phase where I'll be dropping carbohydrates. So Sunday and Monday, I'll be on the same macros, so I'll be dropping my carbs. By memory, I think for breakfast, I'll be having 85 grams of carbohydrates. So for most people, it's actually probably still a lot of carbs, but for me, it's really low. So for breakfast, I'll probably be having about 85 grams of carbs. For the 3 meals throughout the day, I'll having 45 grams of carbs per meal, and then that'll be it. I won't be having carbs with dinner. That'll be Sunday and Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday, what will I be doing? By memory, I think I'll actually be doing, so still 85 carbs with breakfast, 45 carbs with the first 2 meals, and then meal 3 and dinner, I'll be dropping carbs there. So they're my 4 depletion days, and what, the whole purpose behind that, my protein will still be high, my fats will still be basically exactly the same as usual. So the overall calorie intake will be down a little bit. Training will be intense, guys. The whole purpose is to try and deplete the glycogen stores in my muscles. So it's kind of like a compensation. So you deplete all the glycogen stores, and then coming into the competition, we'll be adding in carbohydrates to really fill those glycogen stores back up, fill up those muscles, and hopefully look as good as possible. So starting on Thursday, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then obviously show day, I'll be reintroducing carbs. It'll be a gradual increase. So Thursday, I'll be bumping my carbs up. Friday, I'll be slowly bumping them up again. Saturday again, and then on the day of the show, we'll just basically monitor how I'm looking, making sure I'm getting plenty of carbohydrates, fats, and sodium on the day of the comp to make sure I'm looking as tight, full, and vascular as possible. And then then it's time to enjoy it. All the hard work is done, and then we step on stage. But it'll be straight back to business after I compete this coming week, guys, because fingers crossed, I'll have nationals 3 weeks after that, which at the moment I'm probably 85-90% sure that I'll do, that it's likely that I'll do. So I'm looking forward to it. It's exciting. From Sunday to Wednesday is going to be extremely challenging, especially how busy I am at the moment with work. But it's a short period of time to suffer for such great reward and benefit. So I'm really looking forward to it. Not long now, but I'm looking forward to documenting all of this and showing you guys exactly what I'm doing and giving you a good understanding of how it all works. If you have any specific questions, keeping in mind that I'll be going over everything next week, please do comment below. I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I know you're going to enjoy the vlogs over the next week. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed already, guys, please do hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and tell your friends about it. If you've been enjoying this vlog and you're learning something from it, tell your friends or those around you about the vlog, my YouTube channel, and my podcast, the Fitness and Lifestyle Podcast. And I look forward to bringing you more content, heaps more content coming up. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.